Hello, my name is Stuart Richer. I'd like to invite you into my office in Highland Park, Illinois, where we're going to be talking about the 21st century message, which in my opinion is health promotion. This messaging is going to involve wellness and nutrition. I'd like to say that I've been working as an optometrist for the Department of Veterans Affairs and later the U.S. Navy for 37 years right now. And I've also been involved for a few decades with the Rosalind Franklin University of Medicine and Science, where I teach medical students some of these principles, and the medical students are also involved in my research. I'm also the president of the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society, so my talk is going to be, in essence, cheerleading this society and your role in possibly joining this society. I would like to say that I have the following conflicts. I've been involved in antioxidant research, macular pigment research with Chem and Health. I was the principal investigator of the lutein antioxidant supplementation trial. I was later the principal investigator of the zeaxanthin vision function trial. I've worked with projects with the Illinois Society to Prevent Blindness. I've also worked with Longevinix Associates looking at the red wine extract within this product, Longevinix. And I'm also currently working with a company called iPromise, working with Z-Vision in a night vision study with the molecule zeaxanthin. I've been a consultant to Bausch & Lomb, Nestle Purina, Essilor, Stereo Optical, Anitas Health Systems, Douglas Labs, Maculogics, iCheck, and I'm currently Global Scientific Director of the Zeaxanthin Trade Association. What I'd like to talk to you about in the next 2 hours is reaching for health, not disease. I'd like to talk about 4 ways to promote health in your practice, the essentials for health, in my opinion, which involved the intake of high-quality nutrients, talking a little bit about ethnic diets and the superiority of ethnic diets over the classic American diet, how to exclude harmful chemicals when possible from your diet. Then I want to branch into learning the essentials of supplementation. We're going to talk about the 15 lettered vitamins and minerals, 60 trace minerals, 3 essential fats, the 12 essential amino acids, the concepts of prebiotics, probiotics, and symbiotics, and then talk about the work from Russell Jaffe on the predictive health biomarkers that we can measure in our practices or at home, and principles of fitness, stretching, building muscle, cardiovascular conditioning, and then some environmental challenges and opportunities for the future. How does one create an optometric wellness practice? Well, the easiest way is to join the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society by going to ocularnutritionsociety.org. There are really 4 ways. You can monetize your effort by becoming a certified nutrition specialist after completing and passing 6 online courses, a 4-hour examination, 1,000 hours of mentorship, and paying $7,500 for an 18-month online and clinical training program. If you don't want this amount of rigor, you could join the Oculus Wellness and Nutrition Society for $100, attend 2 national meetings each year, consider fellowship, and receive our weekly blog. You could join the American Academy of Optometry and specifically join the Nutrition, Disease Prevention, and Wellness Special Interest Group. And you can contact a faculty liaison at your nearest college of optometry. So these are 4 ways to get involved with wellness in your practice. Digging a little deeper on this subject, if one wants to become a certified nutritional specialist and monetize nutritional counseling in addition to optometric practice, one needs to complete the following 6 courses over an 18-month period: nutritional biochemistry, evidence-based nutrition, whole food nutrition and supplementation, gastrointestinal imbalances, cardiovascular disease and metabolic imbalances, and finally detoxification and biotransformation pathways and imbalances. One would sit for an examination at each of these classes, and then when it was all over, when you had completed the didactic part of this program, and 1,000 hours of clinical practice, mentored clinical practice, which can be done remotely with a remote mentor, one would sit for a 4-hour examination in Boston and become a certified nutrition specialist, and join the ranks of physicians, dentists, chiropractors, podiatrists who have become certified nutrition specialists and can offer their patients counseling that is the most recognized credential by the insurance industry. One could also contact a number of faculty who are interested in the subject matter at many different colleges of optometry. We currently have committed half the colleges of optometry, and so that's what this slide illustrates. Another way of becoming interested in this field is to get yourself up to date by reading the 36-page PDF, which you can download off the internet. Just put my name down, Stuart Richer, 15 September 2018, Review of Optometry, Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Supplement. This was funded by a gracious grant from Bausch & Lomb, which allowed us to produce this work. It is 36 pages, well spent. It'll take you several hours to go through. Many of the principles I'm going to talk about in the next 2 hours. But if you would like some additional information and principles to encourage disease prevention and healthful living in your patients, you can download this supplement. By the way, we think we're going to be doing this supplement on a yearly basis. Finally, you can learn more about your profession and where it's moving in the 21st century by following a new documentary that is soon to hit theaters near you called Open Your Eyes. We see in this photograph Dr. Kerry Gelb, who's a board director, member of the board of directors of the Ocular Wellness and Nutrition Society. And if you want to view what this documentary is about, go to openyoureyes2020.com, because clearly, too often, as Dr. Gelb suggests, doctors approach 21st century challenges with 19th century thinking. I want to tell you why this is important, because optometrists are at the center of looking at multisensory impairment. Rarely does a patient just have one problem as they get older. Surely they have vision impairment as they get older. This is our bread and butter. But also smell is impacted, hearing is impacted, and cognition is impacted. And this is new data from 2018 showing that a sizable percentage of patients have 2 or more of these problems, between 5 and 25%, and perhaps 20% of patients in this sample had 3 impairments. The beauty of what we're going to be talking about during this lecture is that you can apply the same principles to addressing all of these age-related impairments. They don't occur in isolation. So I want to provide 5 of my key insights. They're not really my insights. They're supported by modern science, particularly the last 2 decades. The first one is that 92% of our health is determined from the interaction of the environment with DNA. We call this the science of epigenetics, or something that's over the gene, above the genetic code of the DNA. 2, we want to talk about promotion of traditional whole natural plant and farm food, and minimizing industrial chemicals, additives, natural and artificial sweeteners, hormone disruptors, and other 21st century health challenges, which are at the heart of preventative medicine strategies. We want to understand the 8 predictive biomarkers for health and how judicious use of supplementation can help our patients achieve better outcomes. We want to talk a little bit about stress reduction, the fact that it is quantifiable, and a little bit about physical activity and fitness, which surely count. Because as we get older, we want to maintain muscle mass, because muscle mass is much more efficient in burning calories than is fat tissue, accumulating fat on our bodies. The primacy of DNA is now questioned. This is also called genetic determinacy. Genes dictate who we are and what diseases we will inherit. However, we now know that DNA can be altered or changed via epigenetic modification. And there are 3 mechanisms to change DNA. The first is histones. These are the proteins upon which DNA is wrapped within the chromatin, DNA methylation, and microRNA. Here's an example from the New York Times about a decade ago. These rings show various, and you can see them here with my pointer, show various tissues within the body and show just the methylation patterns that are occurring on chromosome 22. Very, very interesting, because methylation is the ability to modify the genetic expression of our DNA, and we're going to talk about that in detail during this lecture. I think one of the principles of health is that we need to start with high-quality materials in our diet. And nobody does a better job about talking about this than Dr. Joel Wallach, who is a naturopathic physician, a veterinarian, and has done comparative pathology. He talks about the fact that mammals require 90 components. Plants might require only 3 components, but mammals require these 15 lettered vitamins, which we'll be talking about, 60 trace minerals, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fats, 90 components in all. And we also need to consider that we're countering potential threats of the 21st century. Not everyone is going to be susceptible to these threats, but taken as a whole, they're placing a lot of stress on the human organism. Lectins, soy products, overuse of broad-spectrum antibiotics, chronic non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, chronic gastrointestinal acid blockers, artificial sweeteners, environmental hormone disruptors, herbicides, genetically modified foods, nitrates, and gluten, just to name a few of the potential threats. So how do we counter that threat? Well, here's a doctor who belongs to our society, Scott Sedlacek, and he provided this slide to me with the quote, "The doctor of the future will give no medication but will interest his patients in the care of the human frame, diet, and in the cause and prevention of this disease." What I like about Scott, Dr. Sedlacek, is that he's living this. He uses a system called Nutritional Genius, which analyzes your DNA, analyzes your food sensitivity, and provides a nutritional care plan, a shopping list, and an integrated report of your sensitivities. Quite an amazing practice that he has. This is an example of the DNA test results in some of the major DNA groups, which provide direct evidence of what your susceptibility is in terms of different pathways. And you can see the third one listed is methylation folate support, since it's so important. But we have others such as sulfur and sulfite sensitivity, histamine sensitivity, and so forth. and specific genes that are involved. There is a difference between genetics and epigenetics. In genetics, we deal with mutations, changes in sequences. In gene protein making, however, we deal with methylation, histone modifications, and microRNA gene networking. In genetics, we talk about inheritance. In epigenetics, we talk about imprinting.